Hey, good morning, everybody. Meteorologist Rebecca Sweet here. We're talking about this weekend's system as we have been doing multiple streaming updates, posts about it. I feel like many of you, probably as we do here at our station, we're just now kind of recovering from last weekend's snow event, and now we're going into another event that is going to be bringing in some impacts here across East Tennessee. So first and foremost, the first impact that we're going to be watching is going to be those bitterly cold temperatures that are going to be sliding into the region. Highs both Saturday and Sunday going to remain below freezing. That's our actual air temperature. When you factor in wind chill values, I mean, we could be seeing wind chill values staying down into the teens, single digits for some areas, and then going into the overnight hours with wind chill values potentially below zero. So bitterly cold air is going to be moving into the region this weekend. Yes, we do have the chance for seeing accumulating snow. This is going to be primarily for tomorrow. And as we go into your Saturday, I would say my confidence is most high for areas to the east of I-75 up into the higher elevations. Like, this could be a really solid snowmaker. But when you get further into the Central Valley and to the west, things are going to start to change. That's where snow accumulation is going to be a little bit more questionable. And then the bottom headline, I had to add that in there because I think we're all a little maybe worn out from this winter weather. So we do have a little bit of a warming trend that will return into the early part of next week. We do have a winter storm watch that the National Weather Service issued this morning. This is going to go from 1 p.m. from tomorrow afternoon. I've had a few people on social media ask, when is this snow going to start on Friday? I'd say anywhere between 1 to about 4 p.m. So truly, in my mind, when I picture this snow, I picture myself in the school pickup line getting ready to get the kiddos for the day, and you start to see some snow coming in. Now, this may not necessarily be like a line of snow, as you would imagine with like a line of showers and thunderstorms. This could be like a band of heavy snow pushing through this part of the county and then nothing over here. So there's going to be some kind of discrepancies on who sees how much snow, even within certain counties. So this is kind of going to explain it as well. So this is your look at your potential snowfall. Let me take this full screen for you so you can get a glimpse to see this. So this was made last night by our weather team. We may make a few tweaks to it today, but I will say confidently the higher snowfall totals look pretty good. 4 to 6 inches plus. This is going to be right along the Tennessee and North Carolina border. The further you get into the foothills, that's where, again, those snowfall totals will progressively become a little bit less. Northeast Tennessee, still going to see some pretty heavy snow. So if you do, I shouldn't even say heavy. It's not going to feel heavy, but we're going to have potentially a lot of it, more so of it across the higher elevations. Heading into the Central Valley, so Knox County, I've had a few people from Blount County ask about this snow. So there may be some variations even within where you live in your county. I mean, the eastern half of Knox County may see way more snow than the western half of Knox County. So that's kind of the differential within the Central Valley that we're going to be seeing. Perhaps, again, some areas seeing a lot of snow, some areas seeing maybe not so much. And then we go across parts of the plateau, which is certainly nice because we have the potential of still seeing some snow. But I would say that Friday afternoon, Friday evening, when we have those bands that move through, that's when I expect the potential for those snow bands to start to pick on up. So we'll continue to watch that. But there isn't quite as much confidence across parts of the plateau as for what we are seeing across the higher elevations. Another thing to keep in mind into the weekend, folks, is it is going to be breezy. So when you have this light snow that is around, we may see some blowing, some drifting snow. This may cause some travel concerns up into the higher elevations, considering that this snow is going to be so light. So maybe not necessarily the best kind of snow to make, snowballs, snowmen. It's just not going to be quite as sticky, but it is going to be the better kind of snow for maybe sledding in if your kiddos were probably a little disappointed by last weekend. We look ahead to your futurecast model. So here's a look on more of a local level. We do have a partly to mostly cloudy sky that will be in place today. These are some of the snow bands that are sliding through. So this could start even as early as, let's say, lunchtime tomorrow. So this is our graph model. This is one of our high resolution models. So the graph shows the potential for some snow bands moving through tomorrow into the early part of the afternoon. I'm telling you folks, I feel it. I feel like I'm going to see some snow while I'm waiting in the pickup line. And then we go into the evening hours. This correlates with some of the energy that we're going to have from that coastal low. And then we continue to see, I'm going really slow through this, more of that snow just kind of ramping up late Friday and into the early hours of your Saturday, with the heaviest snow, again, likely going to be into the foothills and into the higher elevations of the Smokies. So again, I'm taking this nice and slow. Most of the snow is going to be out of the equation as we go into your Saturday night and into your Sunday. So that's when things will really start to taper off. But on Sunday, it's going to remain so cold that any snow that does fall is going to hang out with us. That was our graph model. Let me show you our high resolution model, because I'm not going to lie, I kind of like the way that this model brings in the snow for your Friday afternoon. So this one has it a little bit more spread out, and you notice it's a little bit later, so maybe late Friday, or I should say later afternoon tomorrow and going into the evening. But you notice this brings in some heavier snow bands, maybe even across parts of the plateau, trying to push into the Central Valley before kind of wrapping up with some of that moisture that we have pushing in from that low pressure system that's going to be off to our east. So needless to say, remember when we talk about model consistency, both of these models have the potential for snow starting tomorrow afternoon. And then both of these models do show some of the higher snowfall percentages and concerns for areas up into the higher elevations. Let me show you this on more of a regional view, and then we'll jump ahead to your 7-day forecast, because that's about it, folks. We do have cloud cover that's going to be in place for a good portion of the day today. Partly to mostly cloudy skies. This is a look again of our Friday. So Friday, you can see some of these snow bands moving in. So either this model or the high resolution model, I mean, they're both our HRRR model. They're both really kind of showing the same thing. So snow moving in on Friday, could see some bands that are pretty impressive within this system. They will continue to mix along with this energy that we have from this low pressure system. This low could bring in some more snow concerns throughout parts of North and South Carolina, even parts of Georgia, looking at the potential for seeing some snow, especially across Northeast Georgia, before it continues to potentially push its way off back into the Atlantic. Another thing to consider with this system is we're going to see some really gusty winds, and so blowing, drifting snow going to be a concern. Could be some issues for a lot of folks if you have any travel plans, maybe some flight cancellations as we go into the weekend as well. But again, minimal impacts when it comes to all things considered compared to what we had last weekend. It's just a different kind of story. We want to give you one more glimpse of your 7-day forecast. Here is a look as to what you can expect as we head throughout the rest of the work week. We look at high temperatures today into the upper 30s. 30s will stick around as we head into your Friday. Temperatures down into the teens for your Saturday morning, and then down into potentially the single digits with wind chill values below 0, especially up into the higher elevations for your Sunday. Monday, we start off really cold, so Monday morning, we'll see. We'll see about school closures going into your Monday morning or delays. I know a lot of schools are still out today, which is crazy. So Monday may see some of those impacts on Groundhog Day just because it is still going to be so cold early. And then we get back into the 40s for your Tuesday and into your Wednesday. Not a bad 7-day forecast, all things considered, folks. I think we do have a nice little warming trend at the middle part of the week, which is nice to look forward to. But this weekend, again, follow us for updates as you head throughout the next couple of days. We'll continue to do more streaming updates, and send us your pictures. We'd love to know what the snow looks like in your area and how you are getting a chance to enjoy it. Have a great day. Okay. All right, I think I'm all clear. So